I'm Dr. T. Welcome to my desktop. So today I'd like to show you a little bit about Word and a couple of tricks to make your document look nice and pretty. Okay, so let's jump onto Word and kind of, starting things off. And typically you're going to start off with a title page. So let's do a title page. By the way, this is how Word normally starts out. This is actually not the way I like it. I like, and this is me, hitting this button over here, right up on the top. And this shows me all of the weird hidden symbols. Makes your life nice when you're trying to go, what is going on? And this way it really helps you see what's going on. So I'm just going to paragraph down and let's start with the title page. Okay, let's take this and let's center it. Over here is your justifications. This is left justification, or alignment, I guess I should say. Align left, that's the normal one. That's the center. That's obviously what a title page would go for. This is align right. Rare, occasionally you use that. And this is actual justification, which if you're in a newspaper, great. If not, don't even think of it. Okay, so I got my title page. Now I want to go to the next page. Don't do this. This is not the way to do it. Instead, what I'm going to do, I'm going to backspace up a bunch. Keep going. I'm going to go to Insert, Page Break. Now, I'm on the next page. And it leaves a page break. And this way, if you do any weird formatting, if you end on a page break when you want to jump to the next page and not just let it wrap, then it won't, when you type above it, it will know to just jump to the next page and it won't get any crazy wrapping when the text goes a little bit longer. If you just keep carriage returning down, and yes, I'm that old, I call it a carriage return. If you keep carriage returning down, then Word will get confused and it'll keep pushing things down if you edit on top of it. And of course, the beauty of Microsoft Word and really any word processor from any company is that you can edit them. So make your life easy. Okay, I'm actually going to leave page 2 blank. So I'm going to go for a page break and you will see why that I'm going to do this. By the way, I said page 2. Let's add some page numbers. So I'm going to go to Insert. Usually you're going to do Insert. Insert is your friend. So I'm going to go page number. I'm going to pick a place. I like the bottom right myself. And boom, you got a page number. There's a couple different styles. Pick the ones you want. Yay. First page is a title page. Those usually don't get page numbers, so I'm going to call different first page. And you can edit them. They got properties. You can change the numbering order, etc., etc., etc. There's a lot you can do with it. So now that's page 2. Okay, so now on this page, I'm going to start off with, part 1. Always a great name for a part. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is a great feature of Word. And I'm going to go up here, and these are going to be headings. And I'm going to change this, or I'm not really sure what they call this section, actually. But I'm going to change this to heading 1. Now, by the way, that's hideous, so I'm going to right-click on heading 1, and I'm going to make that not blue. I don't know what's Microsoft in blue. Anyways, okay, so part 1, and then maybe I'm going to put a little bit of some text here. Now, I like mine indented. That's just kind of a preference. Okay, so I've got some text. I'm going to highlight and copy this. So I'm going to hold down Shift. I'm going to hold down Control. And what that's going to do, 2 things. One, when I hold down Shift, I use the arrow key instead of moving the arrow. So if I just use my arrow keys, I move my cursor, that little line, back and forth. If I hold down Shift, then as I do that, I drag and I copy. You can do the same thing with the mouse, but I find it's a little more easily controlled with the keys. Now, if I hold down Control-Shift, so both Control and Shift, then I can just highlight and jump by word, not just by a letter. Okay, Control-C is going to copy that, and then I just hit End to go to the end. Yes, I'm that old. I use that way of spacing out my sentences. Okay, and then I've copied some text, and I'm just using some filler text. Now, let's say I want to go for a subpart. I'm going to go subpart. I'm going to go heading 2. I'm going to modify that because once again, I'm not a big fan of blue. Okay. Part 2. Sub part 2. And I'm going to make that heading 2 as well. And let's say I want to add a table. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to add a table. Wrong button. I'm going to go insert, I'm going to add a table. Boom, I've got a table. If I want to add some interesting symbols, I can do, whatever symbol I would like. If it's not on that list, I can go more symbols, and have fun trying to shake a stick at all these symbols. There's a lot of them. And there's ways you can enter a Unicode code for these if you need to. So even if you don't see it readily available there. Okay, so I've got some symbols in that case. I've got equation editor, so I can go insert new equation. I'm going to let you explore that. There's a lot of options on that one. Okay, I'm going to delete that. Next up, let's do some bulletin numbering. That's going to be this guy. I don't like that bullet. I can change to a different one if I prefer. Let's say I don't want bullets. Let's say I'm making an ordered list. I can go for numbers. By the way, pro tip, this one I found a number of people get confused with. This one indicates that it's definitely part of the list. It's not, 1 point something. Which, yeah, I got in trouble for that one a couple of times. Let's say I don't want just numbered list. I want an actual multi-level list. So I'll go for that one, and then this means that I can tab over, and then that will make, a nice nested list. Shift tab to go back. Okay, let's see. Now, let's say I want this in 2 columns or 3 columns, but I don't want to change everything. So what I'm going to do is, by the way, I just entered twice, so 2 carriage returns. I'm going to go for insert. And actually, no, I want to go design. Layout. That's where I want to go. I don't know why this isn't an insert. I understand kind of why it's there, but not. Okay, so I'm going to do, you got a couple options. You can do next page or continuous. I'm going to do continuous. This is telling Word that these are 2 different sections. And I will say these sections do make your life slightly complicated, so you will probably be fighting with these. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to add 2 section breaks because I just want to do things with this one. Now, with my cursor in here, I'm going to go columns, and I'm going to make this 2 columns. Yay. I don't like where it broke those columns. I can enter a column break. There. And I will say fighting with the carriage returns is always interesting. Okay, so yeah, let me show you why I did this whole subpart, part 1, part 2 kind of thing. So I'm going to go to View, and I'm going to check this navigation pane. Now all of a sudden it brings up part 1, subpart 2, subpart 3, and I can just click on them and go to where they want. I can even drag them around. So I just drag subpart 2 before subpart 1, and it will let me do that. And drag them back. Makes life nice. Okay, so let's see, while we're doing this, let's go, I don't know why that's the next page. Okay, let's go ahead and insert a picture. So I'm just going to go find my picture. So here's one from Wikipedia, public domain. Great choice, Wikimedia Commons for getting copyright free or Creative Commons pictures. So I've got this picture. I'm going to copy image, and then I'm going to Control V, and boom, it's in there. And whoa, that thing's big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the little corner, and I'm just going to pull this down. Oh. If you do something silly, Control Z is undo. I'm just going to kind of drop this down. Drop this down. Make this a little bit smaller, something that fits in my document a little bit better. Okay, sorry for the jump cut. So I want to show you a couple extra things with this one as we're going. So let's see, I'm going to add a little bit more text over in here. And in doing so, I'm going to add a footnote. So I have moved over to references. And on this one, I've got a couple of things I can do. One, Word has a whole citation manager in it, and this one is wonderful. So I can do APA, MLA, a couple different ones. It's nowhere near as advanced as, say, EndNote or RefWorks, which are both absolutely wonderful programs, although there is a fee to them. That said, if you're a college student, check with your university. I think my university students can get EndNote at no cost, but I'm not 100% sure on that. At least at time of recording. Always at time of recording. I'm not going to dive into working with this one, but this is very nice if you're interested in. What I want to show you is footnotes. So I can go over, I can tag a footnote on something, and then, hey, this pops it down here. And then, if I add some more text, it automatically wraps around this part. And then if I add another footnote, then, it keeps track of the numbering. EndNote, which is somewhere on here, is a nice feature that puts them all at the end of the document. Typically, EndNote is done. Footnote's a little bit more popular. How should I put it that way? So you're probably going to either be using insert citation, obviously you can do it manually, or the footnote is really, really nice. A couple other features here that we've got. Table of contents. So I can go table of contents. I can pick my styles that I would like. It's never quite as nice as I would like the styles, but they work. And so I've got the style over here. Now I should point out, let's say I switch those two in order. And I go back to my table of contents. Notice how this hasn't changed. You have to click on it and hit Update Table, and either update page numbers or update entire table. And then that will update things. And I'm going to put things in the right order. And go back and update the table. Okay. Yeah, so this is a lot of feature that Word has. Another one that I do strongly recommend looking at, especially if you're editing anyone's work, is review. So you go into the review one, you can switch over to track changes. And once you're tracking changes, then if I say delete that word, and I switch to all markup, why is it not doing it? Okay, I delete that word. There we go. I didn't have track changes on. See how this is highlighted, and so that shows that that was changed. And then if I add quick, there, and it shows things that have been edited. And this is a great way to keep track of what's going on if you're saying, okay, here, edit this thing for me, and then you go through and then you turn on track changes, and then that way the first person knows exactly what you changed. You can even do things like add a comment. And thus it says, what's going on over here. Okay, so yeah, this is incredibly useful. And of course, obviously, once you have that, you can accept the change or you can reject the change. And of course, the comments you can delete, once you're done. It'll show who made the comments if multiple people are editing a document. Really, really useful. And then you can simply turn off track changes once you're done. Yeah, so there's a lot of features to it. Plugins, I don't use much, but I do love me some Grammarly. Absolutely wonderful plugin. Absolutely adore it. Basically, it's like an Uber spell check. Really, really nice. Let's see. As a chemist, obviously subscripts are going to be fun for us. Good old H2O. You make it a subscript. If I have Avogadro's number, I make it a superscript. I can do quite a bit. Generally speaking, I do strongly encourage everyone to become familiar with Microsoft Word. It is a very common Office Suite program. I know a lot of educational places, especially in the K-12 realm, use Google Documents a lot. It definitely has a good place with Google Documents, but you'll find a lot of the business world uses Microsoft Office. It's a bit more powerful. It's got a lot more options than Google Documents does. If you're a student, there's a very good chance you can get it at little to no cost to yourself. It depends on your university or college. The one I work for, I'm fairly certain students get a copy or two at no cost to themselves. MS Office, at least the basic version. And that will usually install on most computers. Chromebooks, it usually won't. So in that case, at my school, there is a virtual desktop that you can log in remotely and use things like Word, etc. if you need to. Obviously, Chromebook's meant to use Google Docs. So with that said, there's an intro to Word, and have a wonderful day.